Welcome everybody to episode 50 of Into the Storm, formerly known as Real Talk with Ryan Madrid. I'm throwing that in there. I said I wouldn't just because of the fact that it's the 50th episode. Yes. So she said it's episode number 9 for the new Into the Storm. So we did 41 on the old Real Talk. That's what that says right there. Thank you to Trey back over here. He's the podcast engineer, and Trisha does the podcast production. And we are in the first episode with the new wall here, and we got some shelving behind us. So we're getting fancier and fancier. We talk about this on the podcast, so I have to bring it up again.
It looks so good.
So I'm speaking to Vince Morgan right now in front of me. He's with Hague Partners of 72 Sold. That seems to be crushing it and taking everybody's business. So.
Sorry. No, sorry.
No, so Vince came over from our friend David Newman, who we've known for a long time, and Vince was friends with Kira, so they grew up together in St. John.
Yeah. Yep. Our moms are best friends, and I mean, I've known her since we could speak, basically.
Right. So here's the story on why Vince is here today. So I asked David, I was like, Dave, you want to do the podcast? And he's like, yeah, I hate those things. He goes, but I got 2 guys that are cooler than I am, and you should have them on. And one is Vince, and the other one's Nico. And Nico did was it some dance show?
Yeah,
World of Dance, or
I can't remember what it was. One of them was Randy Jackson's dance show.
Cruise or something like that. But they're from Gilbert and all that stuff. So
yeah, him and his brother, like maybe their whole crew now works for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if we ever need a dance ensemble, we got it covered.
So that's cool. So then obviously I looked at your Instagram, and you've got 9,000 followers, and David didn't tell me that you were professional motocross or
freestyle
motocross. That's a difference. We've already
I did not know that.
There is a difference, big difference. So let's get into a little bit about who you are before we get into the fact that now you're a realtor.
For sure.
And that the tattoos and all that sort of stuff, it makes more sense when you talk about the freestyle motocross, all that sort of world. So,
definitely.
So again, like I said, so you grew up in St. John. So tell us a little bit about that. What was it like growing up? For all of the that don't know where that is, I had to ask him because I thought it was out in it was Sholo, but it's actually way past Sholo, correct?
Yeah, it's right on the New Mexico border past Sholo. So you leave Sholo, go 50 miles east. That's where it is. High desert, painted desert style terrain. Of course, that's how I got into motocross. There's nothing to do in a small town except ride dirt bikes, play sports in the school, and hunting too, of course. Yeah.
So your dad was the high school football coach.
He was, and not just any high school football coach, but like the guy.
He's like Hall of Fame guy?
He is. He just got inducted into the Arizona Coaches Hall of Fame. He's the most winningest coach in the history of Arizona. He has the most wins.
Wow.
For his whole career. Yeah.
So was he always at St. John High? Right.
Well, for the majority of it, part of it, he coached briefly as an assistant when he first got out of college. He went to NAU, graduated. Came down here, coached at Apache Junction High School for a little bit, Mesa High School. I think this was like over the course of like a year, max maybe. Yeah. And then he moved to Ganado, which is on the reservation, the Navajo reservation. So to take traditionally Navajo people, they're really not into school sports. Yeah. But he built a solid football program there and even went to the playoffs. First res school to ever go into the playoffs. Oh wow! In the history of Arizona high school sports.
Were you born yet during this time?
Yeah, I was. We left there when I was. We left there when I was 6.
Okay.
So I got to spend 1 year going to school as the only white kid.
Yeah, on the reservation.
Yeah. So I know what it's like to be, the only person who's different.
Yeah.
So
then you guys left there and went to St. John?
Yeah. So he got a job in St. John's. We moved there, and he spent the rest of his career there.
Nice.
School, yeah.
So was he grooming you to be like the football player, like you're going to be the man, or just like you just naturally were like you were with him all the time, so you probably just were right there getting good anyways, I'm assuming.
Well, he never really like said, "Hey, I'm grooming you to do this," but me and my brother every day, we're going to practice. And during the summer, we're in the weight room. The weight room's open 4 hours a day. So I grew up in a weight room, lifting, running, preparing for. I didn't know. Yeah, I thought I was just having fun, but preparing, grooming us.
So when you were in elementary school, were you already like just couldn't wait to get to high schools and go and be at like the Friday Night Lights and be that guy?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, so not just me, but I mean the whole town is that way.
Yeah, right.
So me and my buddies all my crew of friends, third, fourth grade, we found a warehouse that one of my friend's dads owned. Well, it was full of junk. You'd never gone through it. So we went through it and we found a ton of football gear, like old stuff from the 70s, like the single bar face mask type gear, all for kids. So we just did our own games. We all divvied up the gear and would go out, and I actually knocked my front tooth out when I was in like fourth grade. No mouthpiece, nothing. And we just organized our own football games, and
And so you guys never played like
Pop Warner?
There was no organized Pop Warner. I grew up in a town of 1,500, 2,000 people. Maybe a little bit bigger than that, but I mean, we were a 2A size school. We had about 400 kids in our high school at the height of the population. So, no, we did it all ourselves. And
so your varsity freshman year, you come in, is that how it worked? Or do you guys have
seventh grade is when school organized football starts. So seventh grade, all of Arizona has it, 7th through high school. I mean, it takes a while to learn how to play the game and do it correctly. So they start you in 7th grade.
So when you got into St. John, though, did you start right away playing in varsity football, or is there freshman and JV?
Freshman, JV. Okay. Even my junior year, I played some quarterback, but I played slot. So I played second team quarterback because my school, everybody was on it. Good. I mean, you had 3 or 4 kids go to college every year off your teams.
Wow.
My starting tackle, guard, he went and played as a true freshman at ASU, first team All-American. I mean, small towns really produce a lot of tough kids. A lot of farm boys.
Right. I feel like you might want to say something over there.
Oh, no, I was just marveling how such a small town and school could produce that many caliber of... Like
you said, it's like what you do, right? There's not...
Tough people live there, farmers live there, a lot of farm industry. Bigger Mormon families, they have 10+ kids, and they all farm, and they're all tough as nails. And, we'd come down here and play bigger schools and beat them. And it would be a shock to them. Where'd you guys come from? Well,
St. John's.
Middle of nowhere.
What was your fondest memory of the high school football?
Fondest memory. Wow.
You had to have
There's
one
so many.
night. You had to have one night where you just
my senior year, we were supposed to come down here and get destroyed. There was Phoenix Christian High School. It's a smaller school, but they pull from all these other surrounding schools. So if you're a top athlete in another school and you're not getting treated fairly, you go to PC and you play. I think they had 7 or 8 kids go D1.
I knew a kid that went there and left Ironwood and went over there.
No kidding. So there you go. So they were supposed to destroy us. I mean, I walked out on the field and I'm like, this is a college team. We ended up beating them 29-6, I think was the final score. And it was all over the papers. Who are these kids from nowhere that are tiny but fast? Just destroyed this team that should have walked to the state championship. But that was pivotal.
That's cool.
So prior to your dad coming in, the football culture already very much part of the community?
No, it was the complete opposite.
Okay, so he kind of started that.
Yes, he did, 100%. I mean, it was a basketball town.
A lot of those small towns are basketball towns.
They are.
Reservations are basketball towns.
Yeah, we always had a great basketball program, but football and always wrestling as well. Our
that's where Justin Gaethje's from, right? Isn't he from? Oh, he's from Sholo.
Sholo. Yeah, you're thinking Sholo. But St. John's. Our coach is there. The coach, Bill Bell, his son played for my dad. He's actually the coach in Round Valley. Just won the first state championship they've won in 40 years. There. He was inducted to the National Coaches Hall of Fame as a wrestling coach. So we had him, and then we had Brandon Crosby, another insanely great coach. He also coached football with my dad. But those two, the coaching that came from such a small town there, if you carry those things over in life you learn then, you can't not be successful. I've succeeded everything in my life literally because of those people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fun fact, our dad is actually he's in the High School Hall of Fame for officiating.
No kidding.
Yep. He officiated for 40 years, and then so did our uncle and Henry and family of officials.
It's interesting you say that because officiating families, I swear the same guys are still officiating now when I played. They really are.
You have to be a certain breed of person to want to do that too, and it's just
coaches and parents screaming at you.
It's you're the most hated guy that ever, no matter what you're there, but for some reason they got off on it, and He did basketball too.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yep.
You did it for a little while, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, and I freaking hated it.
Yeah.
I did it because he wanted me to do it, and as soon as I decided I didn't want to do it, I did it for 2 seasons. I did high school football, and I did Pop Warner as well. But
I don't understand because our dad was not the calmest guy.
That's why he liked it, because he loved arguing with people.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah,
he was smart too. So you have to be a really intelligent guy to be a head official to make the calls and be able to like voice your like everything that's going on.
No, I agree. That's one of the toughest jobs.
That's why a lot of those guys.
What do those guys get paid? Nothing. I think they make like $100 to officiate a game.
Yeah, it's not good.
No justice.
So moving on from the high school. So you like I said before, so you grew up hunting, which is a part of like your life still. But the motocross thing, the freestyle motocross, we'll get into that real quick because you've had a career doing that for a long time. You're 40 years old now. You just basically quit a year ago, if that.
Yeah.
So you've been doing it forever. You started doing it in high school. Typically, the high school quarterback stud of the town is also not the guy that's doing the freestyle motocross as well. So, juggling those two different things. What was that like? And was it common with all your friends? Were you guys all doing it?
Kind of. I mean, we were all. It was a strange group of football team. There were kids that skated. There were kids that played, that were on academic decathlon. There were kids that played instruments. There were kids that, such a small town, every boy has to pull together and like play to have a team. Yeah. So basically that's how it was. I mean,
that's cool.
We all kind of did our own thing on the side. But when it came to football, like almost like a family, I actually went and played in the All-Star game too my senior year afterwards. And it just wasn't the same. Like I had 2 of my teammates there, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And I had scholarships and things to go on and keep playing, but I grew up playing with the same guys my whole life.
Yeah.
And to not play with them, it didn't matter anymore. I wanted to ride motorcycles.
So was your school not very cliquey since it was so small? You were just kind of everybody along with everybody?
Yeah. I mean, not really cliquey at all. There were a few of like the outlandish type kids that were around, like the goth thing or whatever, but still, I mean, if you saw that kid walking home alone at night, you'd pull over, pick him up, and give him a ride.
Yeah.
There was no one that was like treated badly or the hardcore segregation, those kind of things that I hear and see down here with kids in school. Complete opposite environment. Yeah.
Oh, dude, high school's brutal for kids.
It is.
Nowadays, it's brutal.
And up there, it's the families are big. Everyone kind of watches out for each other. So if somebody knows, if their kid's being a certain way at school, they'll snatch them up.
It's a big Mormon community.
It is.
So even if you're not Mormon, you're still just treated as if, right?
Yeah, they still treat you good. I mean, they're good people. They treat everybody good.
Benefit from their family values.
Exactly.
We grew up with a ton of them too, and they're always great. You played your basketball in the Mormon in the
church
ward,
league.
In the ward.
Church league. Yep. And been there.
All my friends would be at church on Sundays, and I'd be like, "Where are we at church with them?"
Right.
I was the only kid that wanted to go to church because all my friends were gone.
Exactly. Same here.
Exactly.
I was in the hills riding my dirt bike.
waiting for them to get off. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Showing up in their shirt and ties, unloading bikes. Yep. Literally.
All of them. So then you were doing motocross, or sorry, freestyle motocross. Keeps having to say that because you weren't racing, you were just jumping and all that stuff, and you were right at the precipice of like the whole industry, really, of it really happening and taking off, because you maybe like a couple years behind, like when it really started going, right? Yeah.
So basically, even the steel ramp thing, you see these guys, they jump steel ramps. That didn't really exist yet. I mean, we're still jumping dirt stuff.
Yeah.
And then it transitioned to where they had these steel ramps. So I got into building those. I built them myself. It turned into, I built tons of those for a bunch of different people. I learned from Rick Dissler. He's a guy who lived here in town. Both his sons rode, John and Robert, legends in Arizona. And one of them still judges X Games, Robert, actually. But
what's his last name?
Dissler.
Yep.
So big names in that world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their dad was kind of a forefront runner in building ramps. And I mean, we owe a lot to that guy, because he literally designed a lot of the first ramp stuff that we had. Then I started building them and started building crazier designs. You might have seen one that pivots at the top. It's got like a lever that pivots and it makes you front flip.
No, I'm not seeing that, but that sounds...
Yeah. If you watch Nitro Circus,
dangerous.
have you ever seen any of that?
Yeah.
Me, Paris Rosen was actually it was his idea, and then we invented this ramp together, and we sold the rights to Nitro Circus, and now that ramp's a mainstay. Like,
really?
I thought it would just be some crazy trick device we used once in a while, but yeah, it actually changed a lot.
So what did your dad say when you're like...
Yeah.
Hey... You're the legend, the high school football legend's son is now moving to Phoenix, and he wants to just jump dirt bikes for a career.
Yeah, that didn't go over well at all. I did track too. My dad was a track athlete in college, so I did that too, and I had scholarships to go do both. And going to college in my dad's mind was like the American dream. That's what you do.
Right.
Well, it wasn't in mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, actually, I want to go ride motorcycles and travel the world and just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know. And he wasn't too excited on it, but I did turn it into a living. I mean, I had a family, I had a mortgage, I paid my own way through college with it.
Yeah.
Through experience and him seeing me do those things, he's okay with it nowadays.
Yeah.
He's even more okay now that I'm retired from it.
Yeah, exactly. So what about the hunting thing? So like when you're doing all these things and you're traveling the world, you know, creating this business for yourself, because you weren't really like one of those guys that was doing like the X Games or Nitro Circus. Like you had your own you created your own deal.
Yeah,
right?
So I created my own business doing demos and putting together logistics, sending riders overseas into different events, kind of like an agent would, a sports agent. So I started doing that and sending myself on my own shows. I mean, that's where I really made more money doing that than just going to X Games and trying to be popular. Yeah. For me, it was more about loving it and loving doing it than the ego trip side of it. So I kind of stuck to the demos and things like that, turned it into a business. I made a good living at that for years, 20-something years.
And you got to see the whole world, basically.
Exactly. Mostly all the airports, the hotels, but a little bit of the world, too.
So what was the name of your company?
It was Brigade FMX.
Oh, I mean, hence the Instagram.
I still haven't changed my Instagram handle. Maybe I'm having a hard time letting go. But
it's okay.
I'm just tagged in so many things from that. So I just have
you should leave it there, yeah.
And to be honest, I really don't put much emphasis into social media. I post maybe like once every 3-4 months.
Yeah,
I should do more for that, especially with the new career, but it's on hold for now.
Well, you have a lot of followers, so it's like, I mean, but like I think your third post was like 2021.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since you've been doing stuff with that, which is good. I mean, I understand that, but I think like, you know, we're trying to do better as a company and like, for what we do to do more social media stuff, because obviously it's like,
it's necessary.
It's necessary
like it or not.
Nowadays. It is what it is, right?
It's a necessary evil now.
Yeah, and
everything.
And you can make it fun, and I think it's becoming more fun. I think the more that I've like dug into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But so let's go. So the hunting side of things, right? So then you pop open your Instagram and it's basically you hunting or jumping dirt bikes. So like you said, not too many real estate things on there yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. So you grew up hunting, obviously in St. John. You're making this kind of like a job too. Yeah.
So I mean, that's a very small community of people who are real into it there.
Yeah.
So I started working for an outfitter. Well, I worked for a bunch of different outfitters before, but I really started working for one.
Yeah.
Solely Van Hale Trophy Outfitters out of Eager, which is about 30 minutes south of St. John's. And we mostly operate in New Mexico and Arizona. I mean, we take probably 100 clients a year. It's crazy. We go into the Gila Wilderness, we pack into there. We own a lot of the public land in Arizona. That's
Does
my
he have
vacation.
Contracts with okay, so he has sole contracts to just like work in these certain areas, and there's other outfitters that have contracts in other areas. Or?
So basically, there's a bunch of private land in New Mexico, and those private lands are owned by ranchers. Well, the state of New Mexico allocates tags to ranchers. They're like, here, you get 50 tags, say, because your ranch is so big, and there's so many animals on it. Well, those ranchers could do whatever they want with those tags.
Okay.
So
they
my outfitter will buy all of those tags, and then we'll outfit solely on that ranch.
So I'm going to ask maybe a dumb question, but outfitter, like, can you explain exactly what that is? I mean, all I know is like urban outfitters.
So an outfitter is basically someone who's licensed with the state to outfit hunts and guide hunts, or be the boss of guides. On public lands or in a state, like on private lands too, in New Mexico. So he hires guides, which you also have to be licensed to be a guide too. So he carries an insurance policy and things like that. And then we're hired as guides. And we work under him. You know, we're CPR certified, and first aid, all those things.
So Hunter Fatella, he's a guide too, and his dad is an outfitter.
Okay.
And he's like his dad's been doing it forever too. He doesn't know who he is, but there's probably plenty of guys doing the same things. But they might go to different areas as well. But yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Those big bears and crazy. If you're into hunting, then. Is that what you guys typically was like elk and
I would say
bears?
Elk is the main deal.
Yeah.
That's where you can do the most hunts and the most money is in elk hunts, because there's nowhere in the world you can really just go buy a tag and hunt elk. You have to draw a tag in Arizona.
Yeah.
New Mexico, you can go if you have enough money. It's not cheap.
Right.
If you have enough money, you go buy a landowner tag and you can go every year if you want.
How much is it?
Oof, man, I'd say the general hunt runs around like 15 to 17,000 for a week for an elk hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys that are going on these like when they're doing like Donald Trump Jr.
Yep.
We can say that on here. You went on they brought a bunch of guys, right? One of his buddies booked a hunt for him and all their friends to come out and do a hunt with us at Trophy Outfitters. So we went and we took them on an antelope hunt. So gotcha.
A little bit more laid back out in the plains, driving around, spotting, and then we stalk in and shoot. So they all killed over 80-inch bucks, which is good. I mean, it's not super trophy quality, but that's impressive. It's hard to pull off on those kind of hunts.
So is it 15 to 17 per person, or is it
per person? Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I mean, it's food, lodging. They don't drive.
An outfitter. No mortgages are not happening anymore.
Right. What happened to Ryan? He left.
Yeah.
Yep.
He never hunted before, but he does now.
We didn't grow up in that. That's interesting because a lot of our extended family all hunted.
We used to go to Heber, Overgard.
Oh yeah,
that was like a big thing every year.
But we didn't.
We didn't hunt because our dad was white collar.
Oh yeah, so you guys just chilled and looked down upon the peasants.
No, we just wanted to be part of it. But
it's fun up there.
We like to hang out.
Yeah,
Northern Arizona is where it's at, man. I love it up there.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. So, how did you meet, or how did you get hooked up with David? I know how you met him, but so how did this happen?
So, where do I start here with this? Well, I grew up knowing his wife.
Yeah. Of
course, me and Kira are like brother, sister.
Okay. Your parents were, moms were friends?
Our parents are best friends growing up. Yep. Yeah. So, of course, I knew him through that. And, we would I'd see him at events every now and then or out, you know, and then I hit him up one day. I'm like, hey, real estate stuff. Like, what's that like? I just, I think I'm going to get my license. COVID had hit. My business was slow. I mean, I didn't need to go do work, but I don't like sitting. I don't like being idle. Idle hands are the devil. So,
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, I'm going to give it a shot, get my license, see what that's about. I mean, at least I'll have it if I want to do something else.
Yeah.
So I got it, and I messaged David. I'm like, hey, well, I got my license. And he's like, well, wait, you actually passed.
How many times did it take?
It took me 2 tries.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
On the school test, and it took me 1 try. I passed the first one on the state. Or wait, no, second on the state too, sorry.
So were you a good student? Because you've been out of school for quite some time. So the matter of studying, that's a whole thing, like a whole thing in itself. Remembering how to study.
With high school, I literally devoted my life to sports and riding. So there wasn't much emphasis on school. I was like a B, C student, A's here and there, and like artistic style classes.
Yeah.
But I didn't apply myself at all in high school.
Yeah.
College, first year I paid my way through myself. So the first semester I kind of did the whole high school application thing, and the rest of it was partying.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Done that. Been there, done that.
Yeah. I kind of bombed some classes. I'm like, okay, that's not happening again. I'm paying for this stuff. So I applied myself, and college was a breeze after that. I mean, I got my degree in business management and ended it with that. And then, the real estate stuff wasn't difficult. I mean, if I apply myself, like if anybody applies themselves of average knowledge, they can pull it off. Yeah.
Did you find yourself reading? This is just a little helpful tip for all those people out there who want to get their license during this market. Did you just take practice tests, or did you read the book?
So I didn't read the book. So I guess I should elaborate on that. I did my classes while I was at hunting camp. So I'd come back midday, get online, which like satellite internet's terrible,
right?
Or use my hotspot on my phone. Do the class, and then I just did the classes, and then hunting camp was over. It was the holidays. I kind of skimped around till like March, so I took a few months off. Had to do an extension.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh crap, I got to get these tests out of the way.
Yeah.
I need to get it done. So I started taking the Proctor U practice tests. I did that, and until I was like acing those, I'm like, okay, I'll take the test.
Yeah.
Took the test, barely missed it the first time. Second time I got it, and then the state test much easier.
So you have to take the school test, pass that before you can go take the state test?
You do.
Okay,
you have to do 2 tests.
Yeah. Okay.
They want to keep their numbers up, right?
Yeah,
the schools
gotcha.
do.
So that was what, like a year ago?
A little over a year. It was
August.
a year and a half ish. Yeah.
Okay. So you picked so you called David, and David's like, cool, you passed the test. Now let's get together and see if this is something you want to do or what.
Yeah. So kind of funny, the tattoo thing.
Okay.
So I remember him telling me, he's like, well, I think, personality wise, you got that. But the tattoos, like this is going to be a huge thing. We have to figure out how we're going to cover them up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh God, really? We're going to cover them?
All over your hands.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, well, they make like this makeup stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I'm like, well, how about you just let me give it a shot and see what happens?
Yeah.
And if it really is an issue, then I'll figure out how to cover them up, or I'll get them removed, whatever.
Yeah.
Which I knew I was going to do that. I wasn't going to cover anything up. But so I went out. I had 5 appointments. The first day they let me on my own. I had 5 appointments, which was a lot.
Yeah.
For just listings.
And you went on your own?
I went on my own.
Jeez.
I got all 5 of them.
Wow.
So I went out, got 5 listings in one day.
Why do you think that happened?
I think I really was on a mission to be like, okay, watch.
Okay.
I know how to talk to people. I know how to sell. Selling guys jumping motorcycles at your property where you could be sued if someone dies is a lot more difficult of a sale than selling a home or my abilities to sell your home. So if I can do that, I can
and it's a very archaic old man sort of thought process nowadays to be like, thinking tattoos are really going to hinder you?
Yeah.
Sorry, David.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't think it is either. I just got back from a listing appointment.
Yeah.
83-year-old husband and wife, LDS family, big family. And when I first walked in the door, he was kind of like, whoa. But I have full suit on.
St. John's.
Yeah. Well, I know how to lead into stories like, okay, my tattoos came from this, because they usually ask me about them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like, well.
Talk to me. So what did they ask you?
So this one is a memorial to a buddy of mine that passed away.
Okay.
So they see it and they usually say, well, what happened to your friend? I'm like, well, motocross accident. That's where all my tattoos actually are from. I got those. It was a whole nother career path I did before I did real estate. And then they're like, oh, okay, makes sense. I'm like, yeah, they're not that easy to remove. So I started a successful business doing that. I killed it at it. I pretty much retired and sold it. And now I'm here doing this because I love it. I love selling and I need to be active.
Doing something, yeah. Did the Mormon thing come up?
They did. They asked me well, where are you from originally? I'm like, well, St. John's. And they're like, oh, you're Mormon. I'm like, actually, I'm not. But I might as well be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know so many that I basically am. Yep. That's basically how
literally, that is the truth.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So 5 that day. So then David's like, all right, if you're good, you don't have to worry about the tattoo.
I'm like, all right, well, cool. Well, they also want us to wear, we have to dress super professional. David doesn't allow anybody to slouch off. And that's why we do so well. That's why we're so successful there. I mean, we blow everyone else at Hague Partners out of the water. Sorry, everybody else, but it's the truth and you know it. But
so is it's shirt and tie or jacket, or is it just dress shirt and jacket?
Dress jacket.
Okay.
The women, dress respectful, super nice.
Yeah.
Everybody dresses to a T there. It's great.
Even the people that are inside making the phone calls. Okay. Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
So are you guys in your own separate office, or is it the 72 sold office?
So 72 sold office.
Okay.
There's
That's on Scottsdale and Via de Ventura?
Yeah, right down the street from here.
Okay.
So 2 separate offices. They have one for a few other teams and then one for everybody else. And it's a pretty big little complex of 2 different little offices there.
How many people are on your team?
I think we have 27-ish now is my guess. We just added a couple. I think we've actually had like 5 in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. So you got in though. You were just like one of like 4, right?
Yeah, there were 4 of us. It was me, Colby Barnes, Rylan Wilkins, Agatha Kennedy, me. 4 of us. Yeah, there was hardly any.
Yeah.
And now it's just blown up.
It's kind of cool that you got in like it's kind of the ground floor for David. I know he's been doing it for a while. He's always been one of those grinders though. Like he's always called expired listings.
Oh,
like
man.
He's never been afraid of like the phones.
The guy's a genius when it comes to.
He's very good at it.
Catching you and being like, well, what about this? What about that? I mean,
yeah.
He does not have an answer for a rebuttal. I mean, he's on it. If somebody says something, he's got something to shut it down and be like, well, we'll put it to rest this way.
He can be somewhat intimidating too when it comes to like the whole negotiation conversation sort of thing.
Yep, and I mean you kind of have to be.
Yeah,
I think that trait sets a lot of us apart from the rest.
Yeah, I mean he was a traditional agent working out at Russell and Sotheby's when I first met him, and when he went over to 72 Sold, I was kind of like. It didn't make all the sense to me because I looked at him like this other sort of like kind of luxury guy.
Yep.
But then it came back to the point where I, realized that it's basically, he had so much success before because of the expired listing things, and then just being really good on the phone, and then obviously he's good in person. So when he told me basically the story about how he got in there and had a good conversation with Hague. And he's been tearing it up since, obviously, and then keeps growing the business. But it's a good mentor for you to have, and to get rolling on that. So I know we can't get into numbers too much because we don't know them really. But like for everybody that obviously everybody knows what 72 Sold is. I mean they're giant. I mean they've just taken over, so much. It's the market share is crazy.
Yeah. And
you hear a lot of other agents talking about like. Why, like, there's a lot of like gossip and drama and stuff about 72 Sold. Right? Oh yeah, man. Then they're doing this and they're doing that. It doesn't make sense. I'm like, dude, you're talking about it so much that you should just go join them.
Yeah, just come over. I said that give it a shot.
Yesterday, to be honest with you, and because the dude's a marketing genius.
He is. I mean, even if the whole model didn't work, Greg would have something the next day that was genius that would replace it that would work.
He's already done it once and sold it, and then
he's got, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't say what, but he's got a million different things that could follow suit that will work if something doesn't work. I mean, the most brilliant guy I've ever listened to. You can sit and listen to him talk for an hour and a half,
really?
And you're like 5 minutes just went by.
Wow!
Because every point that he makes, there's no drifting off. It's straight, concise, to the point. Just a genius, and
he's just a marketing guy. I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He's a marketing guy that understands how to create opportunities and leads for people.
Exactly.
And that's basically how it works, right? So he spends a ton of money on billboards and online and everywhere, print, everything you could think of. And he generates the leads, and then he sells the leads to the agents at 72 Sold, right?
Basically. That's how it works? Or to whoever runs your team.
Okay.
So David gets all our leads for us.
Yeah.
And then divvies them up to us. We sell, and then of course we give a split back.
Yeah.
To pay for things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys have a team of people that are making phone calls, pounding the phones. You don't do that anymore, right? Or did you ever?
I'm supposed to. But I literally am so busy all the dang time. It's hard to find time. So when I'm in my car, like I'll bust out calls in the car on the way. I'll check in with my own leads.
Yeah.
Or I have the option to just, call a fellow agent who maybe has less deals or is new and tell him, hey, look, will you call my leads for me?
Yeah.
And I'll put you in on the deal.
Does he have a quota for you guys every day or what?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
No, just either do it, produce, or go extinct.
So if you have all those appointments, where does it come to the point where like those guys making the phone calls are giving the deals to you to go on the appointments? Why wouldn't they? Like, is there other guys that are going on the appointments as well besides you?
Oh yeah, all of us.
You all are doing that.
So
but somebody's.
We have a text thread. Say someone lands an appointment and everybody's schedule's full. We'll put out a text blast. Hey, can anyone take an appointment today at 1? Is anyone going to be in Mesa or nearby?
Okay.
We all work together as a team there hard.
Okay, cool.
I mean, the team effort there is just as important as the individual. Even with David.
So it sounds like you guys play nicely then.
Oh, 100%. Even a lot of Greg's ideas.
Yeah.
Or the hub ideas. Like we have a hub that's all developed and it's our own app basically, and it's ingenious. I'd show it to you, but I'm not going to. But
you can show me at dinner tonight.
We all have input for that. So if something's not working right, or I'm sitting and I'm driving and I come up with something, I'm like, hey, I message our app guy and I say, hey, could you implement something like this? Or message David, and David implements that. David's like one of the forefront runners of like developing stuff. And
so you guys have your own app for your team, just your team?
Yeah, for all of us, for the whole.
For all
72
20
sold.
Oh, for all 72
Everybody,
sold.
Yep.
Okay, so but David's like so one of the architects, so to speak, on how what you guys need. So if you guys need something, he takes.
Yeah, they always ask for input. Hey, how's the hub working? Does it work well for you? Well, no, this needs changed, or Yeah, we just work on it that way. Just input. It's all input based.
Is there an app that is available to your clients?
No, but we do have our own website, like See Homes First, See Homes First, where they can go on and if you've been a buyer, you've been looking at homes, or you've gone to one of our open houses and you register your email with us, it's a password protected site. You go on and you can see what homes we have listed that are incoming soon. Yeah, they're all compiled there for you.
So right now, what's the date today?
26th?
No.
27th?
27th?
27th, yeah.
August 20 or July 27th, 2022. The market is not easy right now. It's
not.
And you guys are super busy. You're having, like you said, you have no time to even make phone calls because you're so busy with all your appointments.
David's going to grill me about this.
David won't listen this far into it.
You're probably right.
Well, and then we have a lot of partners that are at other brokerages and stuff that are very successful in what they do, and their business model is different, that are like, dude, they're dying right now, right, for deals. And market's turning right now, right? So everything's turning into, a buyer's market, and before it was, a lister's market, and everybody wanted those. But now you're going to want the buyers. And so you guys are you guys are doing a ton of listing stuff.
Still, it's busier than ever. Because, people are realizing the market's changing.
Yeah.
So in their head, they're thinking, well, I want to call someone who can sell my home and get it done quick, because things change daily. So who am I going to call who's going to get it done fastest? Well, it's us. We're everywhere. Yeah. First thing that comes into mind is, I don't know, if I got a DUI and got pulled over and, I'm not thinking straight, I'm going to think, Lerner and Rowe. I've heard it a million times.
Yeah, you're
Same thing with 72 sold.
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably sell my house. What about 72 sold? I'm going to send them an email.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be so persistent that we're going to be at their house.
Is your listing presentation, is it about speed?
It's not so much.
Okay.
How would
72 is, basically this, you're saying you can sell in 3 days, right?
Basically. So that was our original market, model for the market is, do an open house on a Saturday, review offers and go through them Sunday, and then on Monday present them and we pick one.
Yeah.
Well, you can still do that if you price your home correctly.
Right.
But convincing people in this rapidly changing market to price their home correctly in this market versus 3-4 months ago is really difficult. So you really have to have your talk tracks, and you really have to be knowledgeable to be able to do that. I have videos. I have independent market study videos of guys talking just about the economy, not just about real estate, but the economy as a whole, that I'll send out to my potential sellers or sellers I have every day or every week. Hey, look, I got this. I thought it was interesting. Check it out. So that you're aware of what's going on and you're not in the dark. And when I come to you in 2 weeks and say, hey, we need to drop 20K off the price, you're not in complete shock thinking, well, why? Well, honestly, nowadays with the way that the internet is available, the availability of finding a home, just via all the platforms on the internet, Realtor.com, all those things, our own See Homes First. Yeah. Everybody sees your home that's going to buy a home within 6 days.
Is that what it is now? Moved, is the average 6 days?
That's just me making up some numbers.
Okay. but I feel like it's somewhere close to that.
Everybody's going to see that house.
That
is
that's looking for a house. If you're priced correctly.
Exactly.
Somewhat, and you might get offers.
Well, even if you're not priced correctly, they're going to see it.
Yeah, right.
And someone's going to make an offer if it's priced correctly. You're going to have activity if it's low.
So how do you manage the seller that doesn't accept the fact that the market has changed, and they're like, no, my home's worth $1 million, even though the comps around them are, at 980 or
900.
Well, I would just tell them, okay,
like,
great.
Do you just turn down that listing? Or
No.
do you take it and say, okay, we'll try it at $1 million, but be prepared to drop within 2 weeks? And
I tell them, okay, I'll tell you what, I would make a deal with them. I don't take commission drops because I know what's going to work, but I'd be like, hey, I don't know, how would I word it? I would tell them, okay, let's do this. We'll start it where you want to start. And in 5 days, if we have zero activity, then we go down to where I said, and we start there. Are you okay with that? Well, of course they're going to be okay with it, because within a week, they know they can get online and search and find a home within a week. Everybody's going to see it. If there's no activity, it's obviously overpriced. Yeah. Or something else is majorly wrong, which if something else is majorly wrong, we're going to address that before we even list it anyways.
Yeah. Have you done any open houses lately?
I have. Yeah. I actually just did one this past weekend. I priced the home right. Like, it was priced great. I had 40 people come.
Oh, wow.
We had to do 2 days. We did 40 people. We got 40 grand over asking on the house. Oh, and it was very close to Maryvale, which is not the best part of town. So
was it a good price? Like, it was a lot of was it priced for like the investor? Was it?
No,
that area is a huge spot
investors.
for investors. Yeah,
it was. Actually, normal family just bought it. A single mother with kids.
What was the purchase price?
$290.
Okay, yeah,
but under 1,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very small house.
Wow, damn. Under 1,000 square feet and $290,000
in Maryvale.
In Maryvale.
Yeah. The mentality works. I mean, I'm telling you, if you get a bunch of people at a house, and they all see each other, they're going to pay.
So how did you get 40 people there in the first place? Is this the 72-sold marketing machine that puts that,
It is. Plus,
well, even back up with that question.
I've worked with a bunch of agents in that area, so I sent it to them and said, hey, do you guys have any buyers, in this area? And all of them are overloaded with buyers right now. Right. Because there's a bunch of people moving here.
So is that how it works? You independently will go and just scour the neighborhood and call everybody or does 72 Sold or David, your guys' team, do you guys market for the open house?
All of it.
Okay.
All of those things happen. Yeah. So if you're doing all of those things and you can't sell a home, something's wrong. It's priced wrong. Yeah. Bottom line, you should sell unless a seller's completely difficult and insane and they change their mind. I mean, but that never happens. If someone's serious about selling their home, you price it correctly, you do all those things, it's going to sell, no matter what market we're in.
So do you specialize in an area? Like, if you know the agents who work Maryvale?
No, I don't. But I did start in the West Valley because, of course, these other areas like Gilbert, Chandler, Scottsdale, PV, those are all highly sought after areas. So the seniority takes place when you're working those areas, and you have to produce and prove yourself. Yeah. Well, if you can produce and prove yourself in the West Valley, Maryvale, Buckeye, Verrado, or whatever it is way out there, Tonopah.
That's where I came from.
Graduated from Verrado High School.
Awesome. So you guys know. I mean, I was driving out there from the East Valley every day doing listings, and I sold probably 30 units out there before I was
in Verrado.
No, just out in the west side. Yeah. Before I ever had anything in the East Valley. Now I do everywhere. I mean, I was in Santan earlier. Oof. Yep.
That's 50 minutes from here.
I was in Vistancia this morning.
What?
So you name it. I mean, I drove probably 220 miles today.
Wow.
Yeah. They have us busy.
Cow. Jeez, you need to get an electric car.
I know, right? The Audi's just not working out anymore. Plus, I have a lead foot because it's fun to drive fast, right?
Yeah. It's super interesting with this the different parts of town where people are super focused and everybody wants to work in Scottsdale and PV and Arcadia and Biltmore, North Central. Even Gilbert's turned into a cool place to be now.
It is.
And I always go, it's dude, I'm biased to this, but the Northwest Valley is that's a hidden gem.
There are spots that are super nice that are just hidden, tucked away,
and they're not crazy expensive. I mean, it's still expensive, but if you go you go out to Vistancia, I mean, you can still get a pretty darn nice house out there for $500 grand.
You can. Yeah. I mean, even a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Like 2-3-year-old builds. I'm seeing them at like $495 out there.
Right.
I mean, I'd say Verado's definitely a gem out in the West
for
Valley.
sure. Yeah. But I meant the Northwest, though.
Right.
Southwest Valley, for sure. Verado's awesome. Goodyear's still freaking nice. And Litchfield's got great pockets.
Exactly. I love Litchfield.
Yeah. Litchfield proper is awesome.
Yeah, good, huge, big lots. So where are you out in the East Valley? Where do you live?
I live right on, you want my address? I live right on Country Club in Guadalupe.
Okay.
I live right on the Gilbert Mesa border.
Okay.
Country Club or Arizona Avenue right there is the border.
I think it's time for a rapid fire question.
Go for it.
Bring it.
So what's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
I get up, sit up in bed, and probably say some sort of expletive. Because getting out of bed nowadays is a lot more difficult than it used to be.
Because you're old and you're
sore.
creaky?
And I have a lot of just bone issues that come from riding motocross. As soon as I step up, I have to stretch my left ankle because it's crooked, completely crooked. It doesn't really work right. So stretch that up, go and make coffee. And while I'm walking to make coffee, I open my app for work and I'm checking my day tasks.
What time is that usually?
About 6 o'clock, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is kind of late for me. Like traditionally, I'm like a 5 a.m. person, but the real estate gives me a little more sleep time.
Yeah. Do you find yourself like your quality of life being better now, or was it better when you were doing motocross?
Everything's give and take.
Yeah.
So I had a lot more free time then, but the stress level was higher. Well, I guess I really can't say it. Real estate's pretty stressful at times, but I mean,
running your own deal and being in charge of a bunch of people.
Being in charge of 15 to 20, 18 to 25-year-old rock star mentality, ADHD motocross guys.
Yeah.
Try doing that.
Yeah.
Tell me something's more stressful.
Difficult. That sounds very difficult. So, but now you guys have, you said David's bringing on a ton of new people. Are a lot of the people that bring it on, or that you guys are bringing on to the team new to the business, or have they been in it?
They're new.
All brand new. So they're young too, right?
Almost all of them are brand new.
Wow.
And the way David does things is innovative and it's new. That coupled with 72 sold method, it just produces. And I mean, there's new guys we've got one new kid, Ari, he's not even 20, I don't think yet, or maybe he's 20. I think he just sold like 12 units last month.
Jeez.
Or maybe more than that, maybe it was 17. Somewhere in there, we'll have to ask David, but talking to the kid, it's like talking to some seasoned agent who's been doing it for 20 years if you sit and talk to him. Yeah.
Just super smart, very mature.
Very mature, super smart. He doesn't miss things. If you teach him something, he grasps it, he takes it, and he's got it down. I mean, but everybody there is good in their own right, in their own way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Does he look old or does he look young? Because that makes a difference. When you go on a listing appointment and you look 20 and you're go to sell a house.
We got him. We have another agent, Ryland.
Yeah.
Ryland, super baby face, looks young, but also just
polished,
crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah. God, man, it's crazy. I'd love to find out a little more about their background and like their childhood, because typically kids that are doing that, they probably worked hard in high school and they went to work at McDonald's, grinded. They weren't like they weren't entitled
Exactly.
And so they're just like, I think I want to, but they've been making money, so they're like, I'd rather just start now in my career as opposed to going to school and trying to do something.
I think that's why David targets like hiring certain kind of people, like Nico and Sal, the dance. They were, and there's like 3 or 4 of their teammates on their dance team that he hired, because I mean these guys are used to working
World of
hard
Dance,
at something,
I think that's what you told me yesterday.
Well, can you look that up for us, somebody? I feel like we're like doing a disservice with these guys.
What's Nico's last name?
Banuelos, Banuelos.
Banuelos.
Sorry, I can't I can't throw the Mexican accent on there. I wish I could.
It's Spanish, but
Spanish. Crap, I'm gonna get blasted. Racist term.
There's a difference between Mexican accent versus Spanish.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I wonder if there is a difference between actual people from Spain and people from Mexico and the dialect.
For sure. Absolutely.
Claro que sí. Big time.
No kidding.
Yeah. I studied in Spain.
Oh, so you know.
Yep.
There's like the TH and
Gracias. Yeah. Like the
C is a TH. Gracias.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Hey, man. The world traveler didn't know about that.
Right? I know.
So what has been like the biggest like hurdle for you so far in this business, and like where are you struggling, or like what's been like super like overwhelming?
Overwhelming, probably when people say no, or when they just won't listen.
Yeah.
It's like, I couldn't put this any more clear for you. Like, why aren't you understanding? And you got to learn.
Yeah.
There's just some deals you just cannot win.
Yeah.
No matter what you say. I mean, you could sell their house for $500,000 more than it's worth, and they're still going to have something to complain about. There are people like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, you just got to be thankful that, you know, you work with a great team, you make good money. I mean, if you put your nose to the grindstone and really focus on this, and save your money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay your taxes.
Pay your taxes. Structure
Get a good accountant.
Yes, structure your taxes correctly.
Yeah.
Those are
huge
things.
Get a good accountant to teach you how to run your business the right way, because you're 1099.
That's another great thing about 72 Sold and being at Hague is, I mean, David will bring in guys to just talk to us and tell us, you know, well, how do you do rentals?
Literacy and stuff? Or
how do you structure your taxes? You know, how do you file a PLLC and you know, split your taxes up so that you're not paying a ton, and you know, do things correctly so that you don't end up on the IRS list.
World of Dance.
World of Dance. Is that what he said?
Yep.
I think so.
I feel like I was like doing a disservice to these poor kids. They're adults, but
super talented.
Man.
Yeah, you have to check out their Instagram.
I have.
They're always doing dances like when they get deals, and it's great. I laugh like. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's one where Jennifer Lopez was the host, I believe, right? You guys didn't dig that far?
No, I just looked for the title of the show.
I know Randy Jackson was. They were on one of those. I'm pretty sure. I hope I'm not getting that wrong on the end of it, but yeah.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure?
Because you got the hunter guy, the tattoos, the motocross, freestyle motocross. And then your realtor.
You know, I don't really have time for one of those. I would say it's probably
World of Dance. Watching
World of Dance. Nico and them throw moves down. No, I'm kidding. No, probably. What do I do by myself? I make primitive weapons.
Do you?
I do.
Oh,
so like arrowheads and things like that. Yeah, I've been doing that since I was a kid. I learned it from old guy I live next door to.
Really?
And he taught me how to do that with his son and a bunch of our friends, and I've done that since I was a kid. Like if I'm feeling stressed out, I'll go outside, and it's called flint napping. I do that.
Wow.
Which is really strange.
Is it just a knife and like wood and like rocks?
It's pieces of antler, or you can use like pieces of copper to make things easier. But basically, you just take rocks, and you know, I can make full on weapons you could hunt with. Like
knives and arrows,
arrows, atlatls they're called. You'd have to see it to know. It's crazy.
So what do you do with them? You make them and then you give them
I make
away?
them and give them away. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I give them to like my kids and their friends and family members.
That actually be a pretty cool like gift to give to the client.
It is. I mean, I make them to where like it's complete replica. Like I'm good at that.
Yeah.
It's fun and it's relaxing, and
that's cool.
If I'm feeling stressed out, I'll just go outside, do that for an hour, and reset.
Nice, perfect.
Random hobby of mine.
That's good. No, that's cool.
Really cool. I've never
really cool.
actually ever heard of that.
I've only seen it in the movies.
Really?
No, it's kidding. I haven't done that either. Any more questions, Trish, before we wrap up?
What is something that you can't do that you wish you could? Like something that you're like, oh, I wish I was good at X, whatever.
That's a good question.
It's an instrument all day for me.
One thing I wish I was okay with is traffic.
You're not good at
with traffic. No.
So that's called patience. You're not good at patience.
So I'm not good at patience. I like to fly around everywhere in the car, but I wish I was better with patience for sure. I'm a very...
Are you an impatient guy outside of just even the driving part? Are you impatient like in just like you're just like flustered?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Big time, and a lot of that has to do with like there's no adrenaline outlet really for me anymore. I don't do like the motorsports stuff would calm me down when I would do it a little bit. Afterwards, I'm calm. That doesn't exist anymore. So I mainly am just the business guy driving around, and I have to have an outlet.
Yeah. So if we weren't going to wrap this up, we'd go into a whole mental health session, I think is what we're going to say. So what kind of, were you a hyperactive kid?
I was just thinking that ADHD profile that you were talking about earlier. Was that you?
That was me, 100%. That's all I did. Always busy doing something.
Yeah, that's good. Dude. Nowadays it's just different, but we won't get into that today. But thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. It was
appreciate you guys
awesome getting to know you. Yeah, and I'm happy for you. It seems like you guys are killing it over there, and we're gonna go see David here in a little bit and debrief, I guess. But thanks, Trey. Thanks, Trish. Again, thank you to VIP Mortgage and Bison Ventures for allowing us to have this podcast in this room. If you're looking to do a podcast, let us know because we are renting out this room and renting out Trey. We're renting Trey.
Like you're just like a podcast pimp.
Yeah. So if you are looking to do it, though, we are serious. We are letting people come into the space and use it, and we have a great production engineer over here in Trey. So Trisha, I don't know if you're going to want to do anything with them, but she doesn't have time. So it's just Trey.
I talked to Stephanie and said I'd be available to get them started.
Okay. But we'd help you find other people if you need other people. So please check us out on all the social media platforms. Into the Storm. Check us out on Bison Ventures. We are a mortgage company. Informed mortgage lending is our motto. And YouTube. Please go on to YouTube and watch these podcasts. If you don't listen to them on all the podcast platforms, please go on YouTube and watch them, like them, share them. Hit the bell so you can remind yourself, so get reminded of the fact that we just released another podcast episode, and that's about it, I think.
Oh, I have one thing.
I was just about to wrap.
Sorry, but you just got my brain thinking. We need to ask him if he's got like a guest that would be a good fit. You stopped doing
We used to do this. We said, do you have somebody that you think would be a good guest on the podcast?
Good fit. I think the young kid, Ari or Ryland, they might be a good fit because you could really, question somebody who's super young, super new.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryland's did it exactly as long as me, pretty much, but I mean, either of those two would be a good fit. I think even if you had them both on at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. All right, everybody. So, again, thank you for watching and listening. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.